You awake after lunch, and I'm going to do the best I can. So based on the logistics of the room with all the chairs, we won't be able to move you the way I wanted to, but in a moment, we are all going to move in a second because I'm going to have somebody who wants to volunteer to come on up to be the person. I want you to come up if, one, you've got pain in your body and nobody can figure it out, and it's really frustrating the hell out of you, right? Because I'm going to find the answer for you today. Or if you don't have pain, but you want to go harder, faster, stronger, longer, and you just can't, I'm going to help you do that today. So I'm going to always pull in something from a talk I heard before. So I'm going to be very, very, very clear. You guys remember that one? Be clear. Here it is. If you have pain in your body, musculoskeletal pain, I don't care if it's your little finger or your eyelid or anything, you have a transverse plane problem, the inability to control rotation. And I will find it every single time. Because transverse plane is where power and strength and hashtag beast mode badass lives there. Right? Because that's where you generate power. Now, also, with transverse plane, if you can't go harder, faster, stronger, longer, and you are trying to go harder, faster, stronger, longer, that's your first mistake. We need to regress you back and see why one particular thing in your body is not granting you the strength that you're asking it for. Anybody have any idea what that body part is? Be careful of your answer. It's this one. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask somebody's brain to say, hey, can you show me why you are choosing to hurt this person's body the way you're hurting it? Or why are you not letting them get stronger? So I'm going to show you how to get stronger today without trying to get stronger. That's kind of cool, right? So with what we're going to do is you're going to learn how to do that with my system. And it's called the RAIL system. Can I write on this board? Okay, good. Because I'm going to anyway. It's RAIL. The R stands for release, right? That means you're going to release whatever is stuck in the body. It could be a joint, it could be a muscle, it could be soft tissue, anything. So I'll show you some techniques today to release a system of movement in the body. In my opinion, the second most important system in the body next to your diaphragm, but that's not for today. That's in my whole 16-hour course. You guys should make sure you start that timer because I'll keep going forever. I just won't stop. So that's pretty easy to do, and I think most people know how to release soft tissue. But here's the rub. Why do you always have to keep releasing it? And I ask myself, why does it get stuck in the first place? Anybody have any ideas? Yes? Neurological patterning. Very good answer. And it's right. It's making you, if you have a decrease in mobility, will you move less? Yes or yes? Why do you think your brain does that? So you don't move. Right? It does it to protect you. So what we got to do is we got to find out, hey, brain, why are you protecting me this way? If you don't find that answer, guess what it's going to do every time you go in there and you release something? It's going to put it right back where it was, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse, right? So the release part, that shit is easy, right? I'll show you a couple of ways to do that. Then this one is one of my favorites, activate. So once we release something, then I got to activate. I got to activate muscles, joints, nerves. How about I activate everything? What do I activate? How about the whole body? Does that sound like a plan to you? That's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to show you some really cool points that you're going to be able to stimulate on your own body. Stimulating others comes later. All right? We activate. After we activate, we integrate. Integrate means I'm going to now, after I've given you more range of motion, made your nervous system feel comfortable with getting some more range of motion and being able to pattern it. Now I'm going to show your brain how to use it. But I'm going to do it in an environment where you feel nice and safe and stable, and your nervous system and your brain are not as scared. I'll give you one. Why don't you pick a place that you think you can go to, where when you go there, you automatically relax and you feel nice and safe and stable, and you just don't really want to get up and move. Bed is one. Is it the chair? God, please don't say that one, right? It's the floor, right? So we're going to go down to the floor. So we do integrate, and then we do locomotion. Locomotion means movement overall, but really locomotion to me means you stand on 2 feet and you take a step this way. Most people just do number one and they skip to the last one, the L, right? So what I'm going to pay attention to are the two middle ones, activate and integrate. This is where, you see that picture up there? I'll give you one guess which one I'm going down. The one on the right. Because in my world, if you're standing in front of me and you have pain and you've been everywhere else and nobody can find out why, it's my job to take you down that path, because I think that's where you need to be. If you don't get better from that one, it's your obligation. And that's why I travel the world, to teach you some of this crazy new shit, right? And it's the same thing if you're doing everything you're supposed to do from a programming style to get stronger and you just can't. The biggest way you get stronger is to start to do less, not more. And then you're going to, Doc, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. Now you're catching on. Now you're getting it, all right? And I'm going to tell you right now that this path over here is really the only one to be on, because that's the only way you're ever going to change the world. You ever notice anybody in the world who does the same old shit? Do you? No, because it's just blah, been there, done that, right? You need to make your mark, and how you do it is by being yourself. Remember what Dr. John said? Russin, what did he say? Be what? Be you. Right? So I want you to take the information that I'm going to show you today. Don't leave here and try to be me. I want you to leave here and try to be who? I want you to be you. Right? Don't try to copy that. Because I'm going to skip ahead for some slides, but I'm going to give you, remember the coach gave you the 4 most powerful words so you don't look stupid? It fits in perfectly what I'm going to tell you. Because I'm going to give you the number one key. I'm going to skip forward here in a minute. I'm going to give you the number one key to success in life. And it's really, really simple, but most people don't do it. And you'll see why in a moment. All right? I'll get back to that in a minute. Basically, that says is where you think your pain is. Guess what, Sparky? That ain't it. That's all you got to need to know. And I don't want you to be #punked by pain, because pain's only telling you there is a problem. It doesn't tell you shit about what it is, right? Your brain is actually laughing at you if you just treat pain. That right there you should write down. It's the most beautiful definition of what pain is. Like, what is pain? I don't know what pain is. There's always going to be a debate on social media on something. Pain is a request for change. Change in what? How about habit, right? Change in habit. What's the easiest thing you guys can have somebody affect them to change for them? Change how they? It starts with movement. Move. Change how they move. Because if you change how you move, do you change how you feel? If you change how you feel, do you change how you move? Exactly. If I change how you move, I'm going to change your freaking life is what I'm going to change. So who's this put the responsibility on? Is it our job to change another person's life? Better think quick and hard about that one. No, it's not. It's theirs. Your job is to help guide them, give them the information, and do those 4 qualities that he mentioned before, those 3, right? Make them feel like they're part of a community. Make them feel competent, like they can do it without you, okay? But this is my number one tip. You got to have the guts. You got to have the courage. You got to have the willingness to look stupid, guys. Most people won't, because you feel vulnerable that way. And when you're vulnerable, you can't grow. So if you don't step outside of the box, and look stupid, you're never going to get better at anything. Now me, I have no problem standing up here and looking completely stupid. That's how I've gotten better at being up here. Because I'm probably going to do something really, really stupid today. And guess what? I don't care. Right? Because it's my hope that I can say something a certain way that will change your life. And I'm going to make a bold statement that if you go back and you start to implement the rail for this one system, I guarantee you, I promise you, you will change another person's life. And I only want you to pick one person when you leave here to do it with. Don't get overwhelmed. I want you to pick the one person that may have been not getting better. The pain, no matter what you do, you can't get them past the plateau. If you're in the pain world and you've tried everything, you can't get them better, right? I want you to go after that one person. It's what I call the starfish effect. I'm going to tell you a little story. Maybe you've heard it. This one girl was walking along the beach, and there were all these starfish washed up on the beach, and she was going, there were thousands and thousands of them, and she would go up to one at a time, and she'd do a really nice, sweet, deep squat, first of all, because kids can do that. And she'd pick it up, then she'd put it back in the ocean. She's doing this for hours, and this guy was on the beach, sitting in his chair. Yuck. And he went over to her and said, what are you doing? And she said, well, I'm just trying to save the lives of these starfish. And he goes, you realize that there's hundreds of thousands of them. You're not going to make any difference on these that are on the beach. And she holds one up, and all she says is, I'm making a difference for this one. And that's what I want you to do. Make a difference for just one when you go back, because that's what I'm going to do for you guys here today when I work with that one person. So what I want you guys to do is this. This is my definition of strength, by the way. I don't give a shit how much you can bench press or squat, because I got the strongest guys in the world, the biggest guys in the world, and they fail my test every damn time, and I'm going to show you. It's what's called the torque test to challenge transverse plane. If you cannot pass the torque test, in my world, you do not have the my permission, you may do it anyway, to collect $200 and pass go, the old Monopoly game. But I'm going to tell you, you're not going to hit your strength goals, or 2, you're going to get hurt, or 3, the guy you're going up against is probably going to kick your ass. He's going to get gold, you're going to get silver, right? So that's what the test that we're going to do. So what I want all you guys to do is this. We're all going to stand up and do a really easy movement, and I just want somebody in the room who notices a difference with their movement, that we do it in a moment from one side to the other side. And you have the 2 criteria where you don't want to be in pain anymore. And I'm talking crazy shit pain, right? Like I was talking to somebody outside, and he said he's had a problem with a left shoulder forever. And I'm like, what have they been treating on you? What do you think his answer was? Left shoulder. Well, shit, here's an idea. Why don't you treat the right one? Right? Look somewhere else. And then we'll bring them up. So why don't we do this? Why don't you guys stand up for a moment where you are. Put your feet together so they touch. And we're going to do a little bit of a rotation drill. What plane of motion is rotation? Up and down. Right. Then you're really in trouble. All right? All right, put your feet together so they touch. Your arms can go with you. Just don't stick them out really far, because you'll bop somebody in the head. And with this one, you got to make sure that you don't lean backwards, because what you'll find out is when people can't control rotation, they bleed into the other planes of motion. They go forward, they go back, or they go side to side, because you can't rotate. So you cheat into another plane of motion. Most of the time, it's leaning backwards, right? And from here, I'm going to tell you to go a certain speed, and I'm going to tell you to breathe when you reach the end. Big movement cue here. Speed hides need. Speed hides need, which means people rush through shit they don't own. So I'm going to slow it down, and when I slow it down, I also freak out your brain, because it doesn't like to go through things slow when it feels uncomfortable. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to tell you guys which side to rotate to first. Why? Because I'm asking your brain to show me which one it likes to go to first. I've already been peeking inside of your brain, because will you rotate to the side you feel the best on or the worst on? The best on. And somebody says, well, what if I have 2 bad sides? Which most people do. You're going to rotate to the side you feel the least what? Sucky on. See how that works? Right? So what I want you to do is, nice and easy and slow, you're going to take 4 seconds to do it. I want you to rotate to one side as far as you can for 4 seconds, and when you get there, freeze. Go ahead. Rotate, rotate. Arms can go with you. Freeze. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale. Come back to the center. And I want you to rotate the other way as far as you can. 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold and breathe in through the nose. And exhale and come back. So what I'm going to need in here is anybody who wants to come up to be my demo for an issue. Come on up. What's your name?
Liz.
Liz. Okay. Liz, are you dealing with any issues besides the mental ones that we all have?
Yeah.
What
Low
you got?
back pain.
Low back pain? Okay. Well, we never see that ever, do we? All right? So let me show you what you should see first. We'll do it together. You guys can move around here any freaking way you want. You go wherever you want to see this. Okay? Put your feet together so they touch. Are you in pain right now?
Minor.
Okay. All right. So I want you to slowly rotate as far as you can to one side. Take 4 seconds to just freeze when you get there. Go ahead. Do you have to stop because something hurts, or you just can't get there?
I can't get there.
Okay. Well, let me show you where she should be. It's not where she is. Where she should be here. Can you hold that for a second?
Yeah.
She should be 90, at least 90 degrees here. Where she should be is 110, right here. So if I look at her from the back, I should be able to see the front of this shoulder. Am I able to see it from back here? Yeah. Was your hand up for a reason, for a question? Of course. Yeah, sure. Come on up. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, hopefully you're not scared of heights. All right? You guys good? Okay. All right, feet together so they touch. All right? So what I want you to do is rotate for me. Yep, whatever way you want. All right. So she should be 110 degrees here, and the hips should be half the distance. Should be at least 55. Okay? Now, there's a lot of things that could be stuck here to prevent her from getting there, right? Here's the beautiful thing. I don't care what it is, because I'm going after the reason of why something got stuck. It could be the T-spine, it could be the hip, it could be the neck, it could be the foot. I don't really care, right? So those are locking down to make her feel safe and stable, because she doesn't feel safe and stable. So the joints lock up to keep you from moving. Let's see you do the other way, all right? Go ahead. Okay, she gets a little bit further that way and a little bit further here, right? But both sides are what? Not so great, okay? So if you can't rotate like that, I already know she doesn't own the transverse plane, so I already know that she's losing power, she's losing strength, and the brain up here doesn't feel safe because that's where it generates strength from. Let me ask you a question. What's the one movement pattern that she has to do all the time, every time, if she actually wants to take a physical step from this position? She's got to walk, yes? Walking is spiraling. Walking is rotation. Walking is the most complicated movement pattern on the planet Earth. We're the only ones that can do it. We just take it for granted because, dude, it's just walking. But that's the secret. You don't pop out of your mom walking, do you? All right? You got to be on the ground. You got to earn it to stand up. So that's the patterns that we're going to go back to, all right? So where'd my clicker go? So now, let's show you what we're going to do. And you guys can sit, stand, do wherever. You guys want me to stay up here? Better for you if I stay up here, yes? Okay. You okay with being up here?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So when we look at these rotations, we're looking at slings, right? So I'm going to go over slings. A lot of people in the industry talk about slings. National Academy of Sports Medicine talks about slings. Functional Patterns talks about slings. Slings have been around for a long, long period of time. I don't know what the hell just happened there, but you guys might want to. I didn't have Disney in my presentation, right? But even Mickey Mouse has transverse plane. So you've got a sling in the front, you got a sling in the back. I'm going to pay attention to the sling in the back most. Right? So I'm going to put her into what's called a gait pattern, where I'm going to want you to put your left foot forward, right foot stays back, right arm comes forward, left arm comes back like this. So this is an accentuated gait, okay? So in order for her to do rotation, these slings have to work together. So you've got what's called an anterior oblique sling in the front. How many people have heard of this? Okay. If you haven't, you're definitely going to want to look at more today. It's also going to be in my book coming out in February. She's going to have a sling in the front here. It starts from the shoulder. So this is the right anterior oblique sling. It goes from the shoulder across the body to the adductor on the other side. And then it works in conjunction with the other one that's on the left side, goes from the left shoulder across here. So as one contracts, one controls. Does that make sense? So one's coming, one's stretching, and loading to come over the other side. But you also have one in the back. Can you turn around and face that way for me?
Which way?
Your whole body turns around that way, and then pit forward again. This foot comes forward. Good. So she has slings in the back that have to work with it. So when the right arm comes forward, this is rotating her this way, correct? So this shoulder comes around and shortens up. This left one is shortening up. Agreed? So this is going to be your left posterior oblique subsystem. The left posterior oblique subsystem here is going to be from your lat, your thoracolumbar fascia, and your glute. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you got back pain, you don't own that sling, and I'll prove it every single damn time to you. Okay? Then you've got one on the other side, correct? You've got one on the right shoulder that goes to this way. This is the bigger powerhouse sling of the two, between the front and the back. Right? You can relax. Where's your back hurt now? Low back across here? Okay. All right. So these guys have to work together to give her what? Pop. So if I'm going to rotate this way and punch this way, I've got to generate these slings. Because if I just want to punch you like this, one, if I do that, I'm going to get my ass kicked. Two, but how much power am I going to put from there as opposed to this? Boom, boom, right? So these guys give you stability. If they don't work well, do you think that makes you more unstable, more vulnerable? Then when your brain senses vulnerability, does it want to move? So what's the first thing it'll do to try to not let you move more? Tighten stuff up. I'm going to make your hips get locked. I'm going to make your T-spine get locked so you can't what? Rotate, because you don't own the ability to control rotation. Then, when you go in and do mobility work all the time to give that more motion, which is very easy to do, but I don't teach the brain how to make it safe, it's going to get locked up again. And your brain's going to say, damn, what does he keep doing that for? And you're going to go back and forth and back and forth. And eventually the brain says, hey, I got a really good strategy so that I'm going to win every single time. Guess what I'm going to send you?
Pain.
Pain. I'm going to send you lots of pain because, I win, you can't move. Right? And then we're going to treat where it hurts, and your brain is saying, dude, don't be that. That's a rookie mistake. I need you to look at what Dr. Perry told you to look at. Look at the slings. So I'm going to lay it on the line here. Everything is a stabilization problem. Everything is a stabilization problem. And I want you to no longer use the word stability. I want you to use another word instead. And it will make this make total sense for you. No longer use the word stability. I want you to use the word safety. If I feel safe, do you think your brain will give you whatever you want? Yes? It will. It'll give you strength. It'll give you power. It'll give you speed. It'll give you whatever you want. It will grant it to you when you ask it nicely. And we're going to see just how vulnerable she might be, right? Since I don't have my slides, I'm just going to go through what I would normally go through. I'm going to wing it, right? Because that's what happens in life. That's a crazy shit path, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the torque test. The torque test is my number one test. There's many different variations of it. Do I have permission to do the test on you? Touch you? Okay. So I want you to face towards me. Separate your legs shoulder width apart. You can go like a nice athletic stance, slight bend in your knees. Now, can you guys already see from looking this way, which way she is already rotated? Do you see that she's like this? This shoulder is back and this one forward. Do you see that? Okay. So what do you think that means? That she's going to be off on this balance. So now I'm gonna come up to the brain, and I just had her move before, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a bully, which means I'm going to come up and I'm going to push her around. And I want to see, does the brain have the ability, I'm going to go at you a little bit, right? Does the brain have the ability to go like this? Bring it, man. Show me what you got. I'll throw it right back in your face, Jersey style. Or are you going to tuck and run? If you tuck and run, you're not going to be strong. Does that make sense? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put one hand in the front of the right shoulder. And I'm going to put one hand underneath the back of the left shoulder. And what I'm going to do is this. I'm at the same time, I'm going to push with the left and pull with the right. Don't resist me yet. Okay. Which means I'm turning her which way? To her left. Which means I'm actually checking her ability to rotate what way? To the right, to the left. Does that make sense? She's rotating to the right, right? This is why the stage's messing me up. So she rotates to the right, which I'm checking her ability to rotate which way? There we got it. I have to go like this. Right? Left. To the left. Anyway. No, I'm good, as long as you're cool. All right? All right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push and pull, and I'm going to see, when I do this, she should not move. I should be able to come to this sling and be like this. Push on this thing, and I just can't get anything to go. If it moves, and you're not sure, if it doesn't hold like that, guess what? It's not stable. And you're going to do my rail reset to make it stable. All right? You ready? So I'm going to go here and here. All I want you to do is just breathe, okay? Because I'm not going to go really, really hard. Just look straight, all right? That way. Okay. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. When I go here. You just don't let me move you. 1, 2, 3, go. Ooh, got a nice crack. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and go. All right? And we're going to do the other side. Now we have to do rotation which way? Because I'm checking, this is a step where she just took a step. This is rotation right. Now this is what? Rotation left. Okay? So I'm going to go here and here. This is the one that won't be so pretty. 1, 2, 3, and go. There's no way. She knows it. Right? And then I'm going to go back to the other side. 1, 2, 3, and go. Okay? Ready? Mm-hmm. Go. All right. So this is the worst side. 1, 2, 3, and go. It even gets worse. The more you do it, the more it runs away. So imagine if she starts to do heavy-duty training and adds load to a system that's vulnerable. Do you think the brain's going to let her get stronger? No. It's going to make her tighter, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the rail. So I'm going to show you how we're going to reset just the back part of the body, right? In my course, I tell you how to determine exactly which sling it is. What the hell? I got time. I'll show you. You guys want to see it? Say yes. All right. Okay. So if she doesn't have the ability to rotate this way, right? So stay with me. So this is the one that I pushed on, yes? This is seeing how she rotates which way. Stay that way for me. Okay. To the what? Right. Tell me which sling it is in the front. The left anterior oblique works with the right posterior oblique. How can I determine which one doesn't work? Well, I can check them one at a time. And here's how I do it. You guys don't have to worry about this when you do it because I just want you to go back. I make this really easy for you. You don't even have to do this test because I know if you have pain, it sucks. I know if you can't get stronger, it sucks. Just do my rail. But I do it so patients can see the difference and go, WTF did you do? All right? So now I'm going to stabilize on the back of her hip right here on the right side. She's going to look straight, separate your legs shoulder width apart, it's like bend on your knees. Make yourself stable. I'm going to pull here. You just don't let me pull you. You look straight. 1, 2, 3, and go. All right? I'm looking to see, can she hold that? Did she hold it? No. Was it like that wall? No. Doesn't work. Okay? You have any shoulder issues on this side? Yeah. Okay. All right. So turn around and face me. Look at her right side. Do you see what I'm talking about? Do you guys see it? The difference how this right side looks to the left side? It's what? Rolled forward. Okay? Turn around and face that way. Separate your legs shoulder width apart, slight bend in your knee. Now I'm going to check the right side. I'm going to hold in the front, push back towards me on this side. 1, 2, 3, and go. Absolutely not. Okay? So this is very important information to know because if I don't give her this back, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how much I treat the back, it's not going to get better. It may get better for a minute, but it's not going to stick. I promise you. Make sense? Okay, I've been doing this stuff for 25 years trying to figure out why the brain is making that back hurt. Is it the back's fault? No, it's not, right? It's asking you for help. So now, let's show you what we're going to do here. I was planning on we're going to use the floor anyway because it's just easier for me. So how about you guys stand the hell up and move around, right? So let's come on down to the floor this way. So the posterior oblique subsystem, guys, is the lat, the thoracolumbar fascia, and the glute. So they're seeing with research right now that when you do soft tissue release, when you do foam rolling, when you do anything with a ball or you do tools, stuff like that, you're really not changing the fascia or the soft tissue at all. It takes about 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch to make any change to fascia. Trust me, when you're on the roll, you're not changing fascia. All you're doing is feeding a neural input to the brain. So I'm going to show you a very cool way to have the subsystem, the lat, the glute, and the thoracolumbar fascia. So you'll set up this X pattern here. So the brain knows they should work together as a unit, that they should all play nice together. So turn around and face towards the podium if you don't mind. You're doing great. So I'm going to connect lat, thoracolumbar fascia, which my slide is not up there. It's a big swatch of connective tissue that sits right here. To me, it's the most important fascia in your body. Right? If I had to pick one, this is it. If you come in and you have a toothache, I'm doing this thoracolumbar fascia. I'm not kidding you. Right? Then to the glute. So I'm going to have you do this a very specific way. Question?
I just wanted to find out why you said that one is the most important.
Because of how it transmits force from the lower part of the body to the upper part of the body, and it's part of the posterior chain, which is the most important part of the chain. Right? So we'll do the roll here, and we'll do the activation drill. So I'll show you a couple different ways you can do this. So you've all seen foam rolling before, right? You cool with doing some foam rolling? So once you put your back on the roll here, right around, she's going to go right around T12L1, which is right here where the thoracolumbar fascia is. So go down on the ground for me. Put your hands behind your head for me. Support your head, right? Lift your butt up. And this is going to do a little bit of roll here. Come on up, I'll guide you. No, relax, sit down. Just roll, push up. Okay, roll up. I want you to stay right there. You okay? All right? All I want you to do is arms are out to the side. Keep your head supported like this. I want you to bring this elbow and this hip together like you're trying to do this. Going to the side. Right. And then go the other way. So what I'm doing here is I'm on that fascia and I'm doing this to it. I'm twisting, and I'm getting a lot of neurological input here, because if I do this, how about I do this one? If I do this, it's not the same as a purple nurple. You guys know what that is? You get the nip and you just go, right? These guys do this. Don't do it to the girls, okay? At least that's what they do in Jersey, right? So it's a lot more stimulation here. So my brain says, dude, don't purple nurple me, as opposed to this. Okay, so she does that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the sling. I want you to go and foam roll this lat, if you don't mind. You know how to do that? So come on through here. Here, like this. Yep. And just roll your lat a little bit here. Good. Not so far down on your ribs, about right there. You okay with that? Okay. So let's do that a couple times, up and down. Now, if I'm in the therapy world, I'm going to get in there by hand. I'm going to release all this stuff by hand. Okay? Now, most of us would maybe just indiscriminately roll somewhere else. No, I want to roll in a stimulation pattern of how your brain recognizes this cross-body pattern. So now, left lat goes to which glute? So now she's going to foam roll her right glute. So I want you to sit on the roll on your right butt. Here. And just roll up and down a little bit on there. You can keep your leg on the ground. Yep, just do a couple of them. So now I'm completing that X. So my brain goes, it's like I do this. Pop, pop, pop. That's a stimulation across where it recognizes a pattern. You guys with me? Now if I want to do the other one, foam roll the left glute. Okay, so she would do that one. And then normally I have her go back to the thoracolumbar fascia again, but we'll skip this one for you. The reason I do that is because to the thoracolumbar fascia. Is that me? There's a system, this whole place is falling apart. There's a system to the roll. You're not just rolling the body just for the hell of it. So your neurological sensory input into the brain for a reason. This is a powerhouse roll. Okay, now I'm going to show you how you can also release the thoracolumbar fascia with a band. So I'm going to show it first here, and then I'll have you do it. You okay? Holding up. So you would take this band, you double it up. Could be about a 1-inch band. Usually works well. You can go thicker if you want. You come over your back, and then I put my thumbs around the band. And I put this right around T12L1. And what I'm going to do is, I usually will do this down on the ground because people feel safer on the ground. If I push forward, the lats contract, yes? Boom. When I push forward, I get an automatic brace where? Here. And you're going to feel your ass get tight too. Then you're going to do this. You're going to floss your thoracolumbar fascia like this. I'm going to go, look at my shirt, doing this. And then I would move up, and I would do this. Am I also getting my lat in here? Yes, and I'm going to come down low, and if you want, you can get funky and do your ass like a towel thing, right? Right? Like that old thing we used to sit on to vibrate, yeah? Right? God, I wish those things actually worked. That'd be cool. Want you to do that. Just start right in here. And we'll also have a lot of great neurosensory input for someone. Yep, just come close. Here. Elbows tight. Push out. See the lats get tight. And then just floss back and forth like this. Just like that. Bam, 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 bam. Like that. All right? Question?
Can you do this for anything that hurts? Like, what if their knee hurts?
Yep. Because I'm going to tell you their knee hurts because they don't own that. Because in my courses, I teach about zones of force production. Arms and legs are designed to amplify force, not generate. Arms and legs amplify, not generate. If they hurt, they're doing both. They're amplifying and they're generating. What it's supposed to generate force are these slings I'm showing you here. This is only one of them. I'll show you in my course how to set all 4 of them, but this is one of the most important ones I wanted to show you here. That makes sense. So if your knee hurts, because the knee is pretty stupid anyway. It only does what the foot will allow and the hip can control. It's a really stupid joint. So if you have knee pain and you just treat the knee, I'm going to find you and slap you. I'm serious. I want you to be better than that, okay? Because even if you tear the knee, like how many ACL injuries do we get now out of nowhere, non-contact? You ever ask yourself why that happens? I'm going to tell you why it happens. Because you don't own the rotational transverse plane every single time. Because you can't control deceleration. And you're going to get hurt. Stability, guys. Stability always, always, always precedes force production. Always. So if you want to be stronger, it's not about mobility. Yes, you have to have it first, but you ain't going to keep it until you make yourself stable. So we released here. Now we're going to activate a couple of points, right? So I'm going to show you 2 points that I treat on the body. It's okay if I take a look at them? You can lie on your back right here. On your back. No, just right on the floor, not on the roller. Okay. So I'm going to check 2 points on the rib cage. So I'm going to touch you on your ribs, okay? So around your rib cage, it's going to be on the outside part of your rectus abdominis. You're going to go up 2 spaces on your rib cage. It's between ribs 7 and 8. Right here, and it's going to be really tender. Right? So on the front of your body, between ribs 7 and 8, breathe. These are points that are extremely, exquisitely tender when you don't own your latissimus muscle or your glute muscle. Right? So it'll be god-awful painful. And I have to watch her face so she doesn't go into a state of distress. You okay? So I back it off a little bit. Right? So it's right in between ribs 7 and 8. And I make it easy for you. If you come up you go to the outside part of your rectus abdominis, which is your abs, right? And you come up to the bottom of your rib cage. All I want you to do is come up about 2 inches. Okay, and then rub between those 2 ribs. And if you're not sure which one they are, here, how about you try this? Okay? Just rub it. Because it'll still work. Okay? These are points they teach in the world of osteopathic medicine that relate to muscles that have a problem neurologically. It'll be god-awful tender. Okay? So I'm going to work that just a little bit more for you. Yeah, based on the patient. You don't have to go through a lot. I don't put people through a lot of pain because as soon as I see wincing and pain, I already put your nervous system in a state where it wants to run away. If you have pain or you're going into threat, you won't learn anything new because your brain's going to fall back on one thing. Don't get hurt, don't die. That's it. So if I don't make you feel safe and stable, you will not learn a new movement pattern. That's my biggest contention, that most people do corrective exercises that are way beyond the scope of the brain to actually retain anything. Just because you do it doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean it's going to stick just because I do it. Because the goal of corrective exercise is to what? Not to have to do them. Right? So that's one, okay? Then the other one is actually going to be, and I'm going to have you do this one with me, okay? Can you sit okay without pain? Yeah. Okay. Sit on up. We're going to face them. And we're going to do what I have named, you can face this way with me, the who's your daddy point. So we spread our legs nice and wide. Okay? Now, in between your legs here, you've got neural points, activation points that correspond to weakness in your abdominals, your transverse abdominis, and your abdominal obliques. So if you don't own here, the inner thigh gets ungodly tender. So the medial knee on the inside of the knee, that gets tender when your rectus abdominis muscle is weak and inhibited. So if you have medial knee pain, I already know your abs suck. And that's why you got a medial meniscus problem, and you're like, I don't know why. So what we do is, we do stimulation. We do a rhythmic stimulation, which is basically we rub. So you ready to rub your medial knee? Okay. And then we do the thing that's called perturbation, which is basically neural input through tapping. Okay? You like that? You good? Your back okay? Now, if you move up to the middle of the thigh is for your transversus abdominis. So if you don't own this corset, you get really tender in the middle of your adductors. So now you know why when you go and do soft tissue work or foam rolling here, it hurts. It's going to relate to here. So then rub the middle of the thigh. Okay? And then you also do your perturbation. Now, higher up, really high up, near what's called your adductor longus, your adductor magnus, and your adductor brevis, are the points for your abdominal obliques, internal and external. They are the only two muscles in the front of your body that rotate your torso. So if you don't own transverse plane, you don't own which muscles? You don't own the obliques, okay? Or I call them the Brad Pitts, right? So this is the one that we do Who's Your Daddy on, because it's just fun, right? Crazy shit bad, right? So come up high into your thigh, then you rub here, and then you perturbate and say, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy, right? Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, that's a crazy shit path, where if you have somebody that can't control the transverse plane, they have a problem with the squat, they can't even do a bench well, you do that inner thigh, you will see a complete difference. And if you don't believe me, you go back and you do it, and then you send me an email and say, damn, if you weren't right. It'll happen, and they'll go, that's the craziest shit I've ever saw. I'm like, welcome to the path. That's how it works, okay? It's a neurological reset, okay? It's also why we tape in through here. It's one of the most powerful places to tape to improve somebody's overhead squat, because you're not going to squat deep if you don't feel safe, period. All right? Yes?
Do you have to do this with your legs extended, or can you have somebody who's on
Any way you want. So you can do it like on your back like this, all right? Or what I do in the gym, I have my athletes in a group, they do it like this, okay? So this is really effective if you find a corner in the gym and you just do this. Don't worry, I'm just activating. What? You might not have your membership the next day, but you know. Could you foam roll on that? Could you foam roll it? Sure, absolutely. Yeah, to get the stimulation there. So we activate. Now we're going to do integrate. Integrate, I'm going to show you a move where now I've released, I've activated, I've primed the nervous system to set it in. We're going to do two moves if you have the time. We're going to do one called the tidal wave. The tidal wave activates the entire posterior chain for you. So I'd like for you to lie on your back. If this hurts, then we'll just do the other one. Okay? Bend your knees, feet flat. I want you to let your knees fall out to the side. Put the bottoms of your feet together. Arms go out to the side, palms up like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to have her contract her entire posterior chain from head all the way down to the foot in a sequence, like a tidal wave coming in. Then the tidal wave comes back out. So your job here is to, one, make sure you continuously breathe. Two, don't let go of any body part for its contraction until I tell you to. It's going to be really difficult to do that and not hold your breath, okay? So all I want you to do now is this. I want you to push the back of your head into the floor and extend your head a little bit. So it's now she's contracting the neck extensors. Push the back of your shoulder into the floor, the back of your elbows, the back of here. So now all this is tight, right? From here, now what I want you to do is push your butt into the floor and arch your back. Good. Push your knees towards the floor. Push your foot towards the floor. Hold all that, okay, and just breathe. And now here's the hard part. She has to keep all of this contracted and only let go of what I tell her to let go of. So now the wave's coming back out. So everything stays tight, just relax your head. Got it? Now, relax the shoulder. Relax the elbow. Relax the hand. Relax the back. Relax the knee. Relax the foot. That's one wave. Then she would do the wave 4 times. I do 4 times because that's neurological. When you look at how much the brain can chunk at once, it's 4. So I never go past 4. So take a few movements in mass, then don't give a ton. You ready to do that just one more time? Okay. Extend. Press in. Elbows in. Wrist in. Arch back. Butt in. Legs in. Foot in. Hold. Breathe. Relax the head. Relax the shoulder. Relax the elbow. Relax the wrist. Relax the back. Relax the knee. Relax the foot. You got it? Okay. So now what did I just put all together? All that stuff on the back and a nice, safe, stable environment. And now we do the reverse salamander. This is called a regressed reverse salamander. It's a move I took from Paul Chek, who teaches it, and I regress it to make somebody feel more stable, but in my mind, more safe. You ready to try it? Okay. I want you to come over to your hands and your knees like this if you want. Okay, like this. We'll do it together. Okay, you follow my lead. Okay. So from here, I want you to separate your legs, your knees outside of your hands. Okay. Ankles are dorsiflexed, toes extended. Okay. I want you to go down to your forearm. All I want you to do is, if you look at me, I want you to take your left leg. You can keep your knee on the ground and your foot on the ground. Watch. I want you to slowly extend it, and I want you to let it slowly fall to the side like this, and let your other knee just fall in and hold. And now I want you to take the same leg, but slowly bring it back up. Take about 4 seconds to bring it back up where you started, keeping it on the ground. So now I'm controlling rotation. It's anti-rotation. It's one of my favorite movements to kick in your obliques and open up your hips. Do the other side. 1, 2, 3, breathe, 4. Good, and now take 4 seconds to bring it up. And do one more on the other side. And you guys just watch and see if you notice anything. Go ahead. And do the other side. You okay with that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Good. And then I start to get the head involved. So otherwise, then I have them come down, then they go like this, and they turn the head to the side, so they're getting ready for like a crawl type pattern like this. Okay? So I can determine if the head is involved with their back pain through my course. So we did what? Release, activate, 2 moves to integrate, then we do locomotion. Locomotion for me is one movement. It's called the fall matrix. I learned it from Dan John and Dr. Philip Beach, and it's my favorite move. It's, if I had people do this move every single day, I could virtually end back pain as we know it. It's that powerful. So I teach her body how to move before she actually takes a physical step. Which sling was the issue that she had? This one and this one, right? So what I want you to do is I'm going to engage that sling for here. So I want you to put your left hand on top of your right knee. See what I'm doing? Now keep it there. Don't let it move, okay? Now I'm going to pattern it all together. Go down to the ground and lie on your back. Don't move your hand. You can use your right one. You can use whatever you want to get down. Just don't move your left hand. All the way onto your back. Onto your back, any way you want. Keep your hand there. Okay, now get back up. What am I teaching her? I'm teaching her how to move, right? Can't learn to walk until you learn how to do what first? Move. Move. Okay, go down to the ground. This is the hardest one. Lie on your stomach. Don't move your hand. And you can get back up. Okay. Good. Go down to the ground, lie on whatever side you want. Get back up. And go down, lie on the other side. And get back up. It's tiring, right? Use your hand. There you go. See, that reveals a lot, right? Okay. You could take it off. Just walk around for a second. Okay? You okay? All right. Just walk around for a second. Then what we do is we're just going to look at her rotation, and we're going to look at her, we're going to test the sling and see where she is. So without doing any immobility work for, joints themselves, we just work some of the stabilization part. Put your feet together so they touch. Okay. Are you currently getting treatment for your issues right now or no? Okay. All right. Twist, turn, and rotate as far as you can to one side, just whatever word you want to go to. Okay, and go the other way. Good, and go back to the other one. Good, and go back again. Always do it a couple times, because what happens is even when you give the body some new information, it's so used to a side not working well. What do you think it anticipates when it begins to go to it? That it's not going to work well. Then you get to it and it's like, hey, holy cow, guys, wait a minute. We can actually go a little bit further because I feel safer. Hey, can we do it again? And it gives you a little bit more as you go. Does that make sense? Okay? So you can turn and face towards me. Slight bend in your knee, like this way. Nice athletic stance. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see for you, okay, if you're a little bit better, the nervous system doesn't run away so fast. She's not going to have a ton of strength because she's been dealing with this for a while. But what I want to do is when I go back and I push the nervous system around, that it can hold. You ready? So, you ready? Look straight ahead. 1, 2, that way. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Slight bend in your knees. 1, 2, 3, and go. Go. Oh, that's better. You know it's better. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and go. That's very different. She knows it. She knows it. So, neurologically, what she's feeling is here, the nervous system, when I put it under threat before, it just turned the other way. This time, when I challenged it, it stepped up and it was like, bring it. That's what I want. Then we can build on that. So in the world of pain, anybody here, I'm going to treat the back like I normally would, but then I'm going to put this system back together. Trust me, most people in the world of medicine don't do what I'm showing you. That's why you guys come into play, because you're not doing anything for her back to treat her back pain. All you're doing is getting her to move and help this progress. So now think about an athlete. Do you think that maybe if she didn't have pain, but she sucked on those slings, if she was going to do a deadlift pattern now, do you think she'd be better at that? Yeah, because now that sling is, bam, it's going to pop back and give you what you want. Or if I'm going to throw a punch, boom, 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 or a kick and generate force back here, I'm naturally going to get stronger. Like an instantaneously, you're going to go up in your workout. That makes sense? Yes? Okay. So that's what you need to do. And if you guys will get a copy of this if you want, but that program you need to do will make a huge difference for your back. Are we cool? You did good, by the way. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Okay, why don't you guys have a seat, and then I'll answer some questions for you, because I think, am I doing okay on time, guys? Am I good? 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Okay, I got 10 more minutes. And is there any way you can get my slides back up? I just want to show you guys a couple of videos from there. But before we get the videos up, if we get them up, did you guys enjoy seeing that, by the way? Yes. All right. Does anybody have a question so far? Yes.
How often do you have to run through that series with your client? Like, would they do that every day? Is that like twice?
Yeah. So listen up, guys. So the question was, how often do you think you're going to need to do that with your client? You can leave that up. Thank you. You're going to need to do that with your client. I'm going to give you the 2 words that everybody loves to hear. It starts with it. It depends, right? Because everybody's got a subsystem. That's what it is. If you look at the subsystem right here, that's actually a cadaver on the left. That thoracolumbar fascia is huge. It actually connects to a lot of stuff, in particular your diaphragm as well. And it's very, very important. And it connects your lat to your glute. But it's the primary mechanism. If you look at that skeleton in the middle, there's 2 ways that your body has stabilization. Right? They call these terms form closure and force closure. And I'll answer your question in a moment. Form closure means this. Form closure is how the joints beautifully articulate with each other. You have the ilium and the sacrum, and they lock in like a keystone of an arch. or how my hip goes into the socket, so I get what's called joint centration. Right? So they line up. I say, I'm a chiropractor. I mean, I can move any joint in your body, 1, 2, 3. I can do it in my sleep. But I want to know why I got to move it. So for me, the body puts joints together to get form closure. But you have to have another one, and to me, it's the more important one. That's force closure. Force closure is muscle, fascia, and ligament. The biggest force closure mechanism to keep your entire, they call that the lumbar, pelvis, and hip. Lumbo-pelvic hip complex. And there's not a person on this planet that doesn't have one that's an absolute disaster. Right? So the posterior oblique subsystem, lat to thoracolumbar fascia, glute, is the primary mechanism that keeps that stable in the back. So I know if your hip doesn't move, if your low back hurts, if your pelvis hurts, or you have a pelvic floor problem, or anything, I know that you don't own that sling. But it doesn't have to hurt. That's the rub, right? I'm treating it for anything and everything. I want you to think like your brain, okay? Because your brain is way smarter than you are. Let's think about that one. Because you have your conscious brain, that's what you're thinking about, but the one that rules the road is the one underneath. That's a subconscious brain. That's a non-conscious brain. That brain is only concerned about one thing. Hey, Perry, how about we not die today? That would be good. Right? And let's make sure we eat, because if we don't eat, then we're going to die. And then our favorite one, we have to procreate. It's called food, fight, flight, or I'll let you put the other F in there. Right? So that's what the primal brain is concerned with. So think like your brain. If I don't own that subsystem that she has, if my lat didn't work well, if my glute didn't work well, I'm vulnerable. Yes? So then the brain goes to itself, well, hey, I got to make you stable somehow. How about I just do this? How about I just make your joints and your form closure do more? How about I lock everything down? There you go. That's a plan. Right? And then us in our infinite wisdom, because we look at all the stuff that says mobility rules the movement road, we go on here, twist, turn, pop, ping, give you all that mobility. Right? And when I give you all that, are you usually laying down on a table or laying down on the ground? Yes? And then I have you stand up, and do you need more stability when you're standing up or less? More. And how about when you take a step going into the most complicated neurological movement pattern on the entire planet Earth, do you think you need some stabilization? What if you don't have it? Your brain goes, holy shit, this is awful. I don't like that. I feel bad. Hey guys, let's do this. Let's jam everything up again. Problem solved. Right? So what you guys got to do is you have to lock in that. So when you give the body this system back, this one is ingrained in you from how you got it down on the ground. When you revisit this pattern, your brain maps it. You've heard of neuroplasticity, yes? How the brain can change a new map. This map is one of the first ones that was there to allow you to even stand up. So when you do it a few times and you teach it the right way, but you teach it in a stable environment where it feels safe, you're not going to get it doing this stuff here if you haven't done this stuff first yet. It won't stick. You'll do it, but it won't stick. You'll do it, but it won't stick. You guys got that one? I want you to regress back, so then when you stand up, boom, it sticks. Right? So usually what you'll find is 4 or 5 times is enough to get people to really stick. She had an instantaneous change, which is what I want, so I'm on the right track. If I did that and nothing changed, that's the brain telling me, nice try, you didn't get it. If you give the body what it likes, it'll tell you it likes it quick, fast, and in a hurry. If you don't, it'll tell you that too. It doesn't mean you do it 10 more times and cross your fingers and hope the brain cooperates. Does that make sense? You guys are the foot soldiers for this, because I tell you, very few people have the skill set of Dr. Russin to look at the body this way, and his program is designed around these concepts. You have to do it. I step into a room full of medical professionals and I put this up, and you know how many people, I say, how many people have heard of the posterior oblique subsystem? I was in a room full of 250 healthcare practitioners. Three people put their hands up. One of them was mine. Okay? This is where we need to be heading. Did that answer your question? It's like brain candy. Your brain's like, give me more. Give me more. Another question. Yes. The title of my book. That's a good question. Now, I don't even know I'll put the slide up there. It's called, I'll make it really easy for you. See that name? Type that name in Amazon. It's called Stop Chasing Pain. It's coming out. It's on Amazon. It's under pre-order. The guys who are publishing it did very dear friends of mine book, Jill Miller's book, The Role Model. And they also did Kelly Starrett's book, The Supple Leopard, and his desk-bound book. Victory Belt Publishing is putting my book out. So my goal is to put a book in Barnes & Noble full of crazy new shit. That when you pick it up, you're going to be like, this guy's crazy. Yes, I am. But that book is where I'm going to show these concepts. All right? So Stop Chasing Pain in Amazon, and you'll get them. Very happy to say it made the bestseller list on Amazon. It didn't even get out yet. So hopefully I can change a lot of lives with that one. Yes, sir. Say that again.
If you had one or two things that you would want us to implement with our plan.
Good question. So let's think about one or two things that you would implement. One, I want you to know that every single person's got a transverse plane problem. And the easiest way you're going to be able to test it is from the torque test. If you only saw the torque test and you don't know it enough, you can see it on my website, stopchasingpain.com. But all I want you to do is that. I want you to do exactly what I showed you here today. Just release the posterior oblique subsystem, lat, thoracolumbar fascia, glute. From that way, just do the foam roll. If you don't have the band, that's fine. And then I want you to stimulate the 2 points between the front ribs, C7 and an 8. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, at least just have them roll the inner thigh. And then I would like for you to actually do something down on the ground. The tidal wave, I'll make sure you guys get a copy of that. Just do the tidal wave. Most people won't be able to do the reverse salamander yet. And then do the fall matrix. Get up and down and to the ground again. Back, stomach, left side, right side. If you just do that movement, the fall matrix, and you walked around on bare feet more, I pretty much think we could end back pain today. And it works because, why does it work so well? Because nobody does it. Right? That make sense? Yes. They're what?
Flat feet.
Flat feet?
Yeah, a lot of people that have flat feet, because I always tell them to walk barefoot as well, but I have flat feet, I really need like moving things more.
Yep. Yeah, flat feet you can work with too. I mean, that's another part of a sling that I actually teach. But why do you think your feet go flat? Yeah, your feet go flat because your body feels safer with more. If you can't control the stability in your body flattens your foot because you have more of your foot in contact with the ground, so it feels safer that way. So people say, well, it caves in because your ankle doesn't move. And I'm like, okay, why doesn't your ankle move? Did it just lock up for the hell of it? It doesn't move because what? Doesn't feel safe, your body doesn't feel vulnerable. So of course it's not going to let you bend your ankle, because if you bend your ankle, it's going to let you extend your hip more to engage the glute you don't have and rotate to the left and the right that you don't have. So I'm going to lock your ankle down so you can't. That's why it locks your ankle down. Make sense? Okay. So your bottom of your feet will get better when you get that sling back. Any other questions? Yes.
Scoliosis. Some people, their spines actually are rotated, and it grew that way, or they have
Talking about like a
that
scoliosis?
curve.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, how effective is this with that, and can that actually, doing this, help relieve that
Yes.
portion?
So it's the act about people that have some natural twist in their spine or scoliosis or turn. Yes, it can help for that, because there's a very important distinction I need to tell you. I'm not looking for the same amount of strength from left side to right side. One side will inherently be stronger than the other because I punch with my right or I throw with my right. It's going to be stronger than my left. Does that make sense? One will be stronger than the other. But what I need to have happen, regardless of what shape your spine is, that if I go in and I push this sling around and I'm a bully, I need that sling to say, bring it. And then if I do it to this one, I need that sling to say, bring it. They're both going to step up when I need it. But one guy is going to last longer in the fight. One guy will give out sooner. And they should. They should not be completely balanced in strength-wise, and they won't be. But they need to be balanced in activation. When your brain needs it, that it's there. If it's not there, the brain has to do what? go somewhere else. And you know where somewhere else is? Pain. Make sense? Any other questions before I wrap it up? Yes.
Two quick questions. One is, where do you place this in the course of a session? Is this before a dynamic warm-up or during, after? And then do you have any online courses?
Yes, so with this one, yes, I would introduce this in the beginning. It'd be a very targeted part of my warm-up, right, before they start to get moving. Really quick to do. I would say, boom, just get down that, let's go play, right? And then online stuff, you can actually have a membership site that's stopchasingpain.com. It's called a GoPro membership that you can jump on there, and I show you all the kind of behind-the-scenes stuff that you can see. You can also order my book via my website, stopchasingpain.com. And then I'm of course on all the social media stuff, kind of like a virus, I guess. But and I offer workshops all over the world, like 2-day workshops where I show you 16 hours of really cool stuff like that, nonstop. Yeah, so here, once you got these, then I have a level 2 course that I just filmed where I show you how to implement bands. So you push, pull, twist, bend, and you rotate high to low to high, and then you can progress up once you get here. But what I find is that most people don't have a hard problem going hard. They have a difficult time going soft. So if I give you the creamy filling of the soft, then the hard takes care of itself. That makes sense. Any other questions? We good? Okay. So to find more of my stuff, you guys can obviously visit stopchasingpain.com and check it out. You'll find plenty of other stuff. I'll be around for the rest of the weekend if you want to have questions. If anybody wants me to do a torque test on them, I'll be happy to. I love to do that stuff. It's my number one on-the-field assessment that we can do. I'll do a line of them and see if anybody passes it. There hasn't been one person who's passed it yet. That's a challenge for you. But I want to thank you for having me here. And you guys, do you learn a couple things you take back? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming up. Thanks for coming up. You did great.
Thank you.
If you're a personal trainer, odds are good enough isn't good enough. You want to do more, train more, and build your business. But being the best takes work, and it takes a lot more than just delivering a killer workout. You got to think beyond the session, keep your clients inspired, accountable, and focused on results, all while signing up new leads and growing your client base. This stuff is hard to do. It takes a lot of time. And you know what they say, time is money. Off-Day Trainer saves you time and makes you money. Our innovative technology combines text messaging and mobile marketing to reach your clients in real time. With Off-Day Trainer, you'll build your client base. New leads text a keyword to your unique number, fill out a questionnaire, and easily schedule their first session with you. Once they're in, they automatically get session reminders, plus daily inspiration and encouragement based on their unique goals, keeping your clients accountable and focused all week long. You can even keep in touch with former clients, ensure they stay in shape, or let them know that you're ready to help them get back on track, even if they fall behind. Just set up your account and we'll handle the rest. Sign up today to raise the bar and say goodbye to good enough.
Hey guys, Todd Durkin here, Fitness Quest 10, San Diego, California. First off, shout out to all the folks that are following my dose of Durkin every Monday morning. Shots of motivation and inspiration. And thanks to all my friends over at Off-Day Trainer for powering that whole platform. I always talk to fit pros and trainers about more touch points, and mobile technology is allowing us to reach more people and scale the universe. If you're a trainer, you're a fit pro, you always got to find out 3 things for your clients: how to motivate them more, how to hold them accountable, and also to deliver them know-how. So if you're interested in how to do that through mobile technology, check out offdaytrainer.com. Hop over there, check it out, and if that's something that would help your business, go there now. Peace, we out.